Welcome to another episode of Your Words Not Mine podcast. My name is Akif.
Hello, my name is Hari.
Hi, I'm Vaishu.
Khairul.
So, for today, we're actually gonna go deeper into the topics we talked about previous week, which was about identity crisis. So, I think on previous podcast, we just came to surface because there's a lot to talk about. We had like a few questions which we didn't go so deep into and talk more about it. So, we're going to do it today. So, maybe I should kickstart the question, right? Yeah. So, okay, so we talked about identity, like what are the repercussions of having such claiming extreme identity in the world of today. So, I would like to start off with like a maybe analogy, right? So we all can talk about it. So, let's say, let's say I identify myself as a lion. So a biological nature of a lion or biological algorithm of a lion is, of course, I will want to harm other living creatures, right? Except lions. I'm not judging a lion. It's just yeah. So let's say I identify as a lion, and I just strike Vaishu in the face right now, like just like that.
I will kill you.
No, you can't
But
kill me. I'm a lion. So that's what I'm just trying to say. So is that lawfully right? I just slap her across the face right now, and I tell her I'm a lion. I can do it. I mean, I'm just my nature.
Try.
It's my nature, you know. How is that? How is that going to pan out to be, guys?
Okay, that's an interesting point because I'm not a lion, definitely, but I do want to slap some people in the faces, but not Vaishu, of course. I respect Vaishu. How could you slap her in the face, you fucking lion?
Where is this episode going? Like, what?
Okay, I think to address that one, that question, I feel like it all boils down to your conscience. I mean, like animals don't have conscience. Do they know what's right and wrong? I doubt it. Right? But if you going to say your nature is that such and such, and because of that you're going to act like an animal without conscious intellect, then you're just going to harm somebody. Then
But I identify myself as a lion, man.
I know, but is it wrong or not? Do you think that's wrong or not? If you ask that question back, what is the thing she would say? No, I don't think that's wrong.
I mean, I personally feel it's wrong, of course. Like I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
yeah,
And like, oh
exactly.
my god, no, it's fucking wrong. Like, nah, I'm not gonna be. I feel okay. You know what? Let me just say it. So, if somebody walk up,
Now, okay, now I ask you another question.
okay.
Now, since you're a lion, I poach lion.
Oh, you're
do you
lion
think?
poacher. Oh, you're a
I'm a lion
poacher
poacher.
now. Okay.
Is it wrong for me to poach you?
That you
Right?
see, yeah, that's a good question. Of course, it's wrong.
I mean, like, of course,
Animal
it's wrong.
abuse.
I mean, in environmentally
It's natural for me to do it.
it's wrong.
Against, nah, disagree, guys. Kind of poach, but
I'm so sorry, Hari. Okay, you identify as a lion. He kills you because he also identifies you as a lion. Let's say, yeah. So, in terms of
I'm gonna
like the
skin you,
law,
Hari.
right? Does it mean that he kills an animal or does
Sell your
he kill a
tattoos.
human? In terms of
yeah, that's the whole thing, right? So that's the question because I mean, if you are so keen, like a progressive society, we want to accept people for identities they want to be in. I'm going to talk about Western context again because since that's where we started off, right? So yeah, so like again, we bring back to what you mentioned our previous podcast where remember about the wolf part we were talking about it, right? Like this lady identifies as a wolf, so then she becomes a wolf, and wolf tendencies are similar. They are predator. They're not a prey. They want to harm prey. So they accepted her as who she was, right? They didn't even give hindsight or give a certain thought about it. So they accepted her who she was, right? With her blue hair and all. So like yeah. So if we accept her, then should we accept whatever she does? Because if she is a wolf, then as a nature of a wolf, she can all right just hit somebody smack across the face, man. How's that wrong? And wolves work in a gang in groups, right? Whole wolf community launch one strike or what at the goddamn White House. What is the fucking president gonna do, man? It's gonna be like, nah, she's just a wolf. Fuck you.
That is not even like, that's not gonna be have any standing in the court. Like, dude, you just killed him.
They're gonna kill the
That's it. And you actually, in terms of like, when you bring it to the court, it's a criminal offense. You killed someone.
No,
Duh.
but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what if the society accepts you entirely? So what are the repercussions then?
Repercussions in terms of okay, we're talking about the society part, but government bodies, right, or proper organizations, do they echo society's concerns? Are they going to solidify and actually put pen to paper into all these ideologies? Like, okay, going back into the religion aspect, right? The government recognizes that there are different religions, there are different races. These are proper distinctions. But are they going to entertain the idea that one day I will say I declare myself as a wolf? So my IC shows that I'm a wolf instead of like my race, or I'm a male.
Alpha male for a wolf and like a beta male. I'm just going to deeper like Andrew Tate shit. But yeah, that's a good part. But like yeah, you know what? I mean, yeah, it might go to if we are fully accepting society, like yeah, we probably will put like animal identities on our ICs for all we know. And yeah, so does it mean what we get to choose wolf, lion, animal, and then if she chooses a deer, then what, I get a hunter? Is that how it works? Like that's the thing, right? So like, to what extent? You see, then okay, let's step out of this thought process. Okay, think about it. So if now society is progressive, they're accepting, but now look at the hindsight of it. So when it goes against certain norms, they question, right? Like what we talked about, like so if a wolf, she can't hear you, like she said, they'll get castrated, they'll get sentenced or probably killed or whatever it is, right? So that's the thing. But if you identify them as a wolf, but then there's certain things, you cannot do this, you can't do that, then they're not a wolf, they're a human being.
It's just contradictory.
Yeah,
It's just contradicting.
yeah, it's just contradicting. And then that is the thing. Like, we fail to realize that that's the part I believe. Like, in every debate I see, whether it's Ben Shapiro, whether it's Matt Walsh, whether it's Jordan Peterson, like, they always get so aggressive and they put their thoughts out there and they're like, hey, this is me. You have to accept me for who I am and stuff like that. And then he will obviously put a logical and point of view out there. He'll be like, okay, but this can't be done. This can't be done. Be like, nah, you don't understand, stuff like that. But yeah, then when it goes against certain boundaries, and then they be like, you know what, this can't be done. Like, I'm a wolf, but nah, I can't do this, Then why be a wolf? Just say you're a human being, man.
Yeah, I think it's like, okay, like do they have the right, the full access right? They have the full access right to be who they want to be. Okay, they can be whoever they want to be. They want to be wolf or whatever. If they really identify as that, whatever. But then we also, as humans, have autonomy. We are autonomous beings. You, me, we have no control over each other. So if your autonomy is invading into my autonomy, that is something that should not happen. Right? You're intruding into my peace.
I think the general public is fine if your own beliefs is just affecting your own individual self. But like what you said, right? If it affects other people and in a more harmful way, it gets out of like there's disarray, you know.
Okay, one I would like to bring back to the point where how it affects the society that you put across, right? Well, my point, right, is, I mean, if it isn't clear, I do not. I'm not agreeing to this, because for me, the way I see it, this is just like, how there are people who in this world where extreme cases, where they identify themselves like grown ass women or male. I forgot which was it. They identify themselves as a baby and they build a adult size cot. They will use Pampers. They will have only drink milk out of the milk bottle. Those kind of things. And we have also the whole thing of cosplay, where
Cosplay is
people dress up as what they like, right? And I feel that this is quite similar to that, because bringing back to the wolf person, right? She likes the wolf. She saw, oh, that's me. Similar to if I watch Naruto, I'm like, oh, I like this person. If I like Sasuke, for example, I dress up like Sasuke. I do like a bit for whatever period
But
that
are
is.
you Sasuke? I mean, you can't be Sasuke, obviously, but you can be Sakura.
Sakura is like,
okay, Sakura's okay. Okay, yeah.
but like, but the thing is that, like, how this might become an issue when we start acting about, like, having like things like where we start killing, or rather just I mean, this is the extreme case. I mean, we've not heard anything along that line yet, but this is what we can forecast, which is, if I truly believe that I'm a wolf, or even like a dog, for example, I'm living the life like that, I would start probably behaving like that. And here's the thing, there are a lot of things that a man or woman needs to satisfy their basic needs. Number one, a damn job. How is it that you are going to be a wolf, dog, whatever animal, and have a job, and you can't, right? Even then, if, let's just say, you want to be like that, then you, what, going to go to the zoo and start, being one, is it? I mean, you definitely should have a particular cage for you, but that's not how it's going to work. No one else is going to take care of you because you choose to be a dog, or you choose to be a lion. You are not. So that means, how are they going to satisfy their basic things like shelter,
Yeah.
like, food?
You're not
Very
entitled
important
to
thing.
all these.
Yeah, because you're not working for it. So you can't just say, I'm a wolf, I'm a lion, but then I go to work.
Yeah.
It does not.
And you don't get the same rights, or like, let's say, protection. Let's say if it's let's say wolf are endangered species, you don't get the same protection.
Yeah.
Same views. Oh wow. Okay.
So I feel like, if you are going to be like, it's going to just like not work, even as that person who is like who has decided to identify themselves as a particular animal. It's not going to, like, I'm just talking about just the individual person itself, like, not even like, it's yet to even go to the broader aspect of the society, where, imagine like a grown ass man on his on his hands and knees, like, crawling to point A to point B. And imagine another example: what if there's a car, and then what? The person is gonna be like barking at the car to stop, or is, like, what? It's not. Is the person going to, the one who identifies themselves as a what's that? A dog? Are they going to chase after cars? Like, it's going to, like, it's a whole other thing when it's like talking about society as well. So, like, yeah.
Into like a progressive society. Okay. If the society gets
Quite the
progressive.
opposite. It's not
Yeah,
progressive.
okay,
It's the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. But they coined it as progressive. So let's say we go into a progressive society, okay? I identify myself as an animal. Let's say I still okay, let's say one day I decided not to pay my taxes. I don't want to pay my taxes, I don't want to pay my bills. I identify as an animal. Because animals don't pay taxes. So let's say I still work my normal job, but I just don't pay taxes because animals are not. If I am a wolf and I pay taxes, you better start going into the counties and start going to the like forests or wherever wolves inhabit and start charging them taxes also, you know?
Yeah, I think that comes to the part where I mentioned before that I strongly believe, you never reach this age where, like this will happen, like what you mentioned. But then why do we like accept identities, like what you're mentioning, like I think when we have these extreme identities and then we accept them for who we are, but we don't accept entirely, we just accept that figure, or you can be that figure, but you have to behave like a human being, So like what you mentioned, like taxes and stuff like that, yeah, that'd be preposterous, right? Like what, But let's go a bit deeper, okay? Like what you're talking about. Like I think societal damage per se, I think this is also more towards an individual damage. Because if you think about it, like, okay, I'm gonna be honest again and blunt. Like, when it comes to this type of extreme identities, there's a certain cognitive dissonance, I believe, in your brain, or like a thought process, like something it's out of place. Like, why would you rationally like? I mean, like what we talk about so far. If you are a wolf, you entirely be a wolf. You cannot just hey, maybe I feel like I can communicate or not communicate, but I feel like relate to them and stuff like. But you're not them. So how can you be a wolf and you're not them entirely?
Just like you decided to become parts of the wolf, which is convenient for you and not the entirety of it.
That's the thing. So that boils down, I believe, to like self acceptance. Like okay, so like why am I saying self acceptance, right? Because like what Kai mentioned before, I think he said that due to like maybe you want to be accepted in society, or maybe we feel like we're lost, and mental issues has been rampant today, man. Like I'm telling you, it's just skyrocketing off the tubes. Like the charts, like people are having issues and stuff like that. So like maybe they have underlying issues, but we society are unconsciously supporting it. I believe, like maybe like they, because the way you are, the way you identify yourself, like what I mentioned in the previous podcast, is basically due to like certain events in life or certain decisions we make in life. So if we make such a decision, it means that either one, we are confused. Like usually it is, that's the case because we're young, we're not adults. We don't know, we don't have enough experience. It's just that on a hindsight, maybe this is what I want to be, and then society pushes you to be that person. Like now society, like we, instead of becoming detrimental, we are taking it as a positive kind of way, right? So we're supporting them, and how would that boost their own self growth as an individual? And if they don't boost their self growth, and the further generations will suffer. Like look about right now. I'm not gonna name any sort of generation, like whatever younger. I mean, I'm a millennial, but nonetheless, like it's just going on a downfall. Like from since the boomer generation till like now till like Gen Zs, like we see the thought processes, it's shifting, but is it shifting positively or negatively? Right? Because if you're more progressive society, I believe we should be progressive in a rational kind of way, not just progressive because hey, yes, you can be who you wanna be, child. I don't think so that's the case, because if that's gonna be without any rational aspect to who you want to be in life, then you just take a downward spiral, and the future generations, they'll be what? They're going to be born to a father who's a wolf and a mom who's a lion, and what are they going to be? Dragon? This is not Game of Thrones, man. Like this really didn't. I mean,
I think even Game of Thrones would have some sort of like logic to it,
Daenerys
dude. Like,
Targaryen.
come on.
Have you watched? Okay, man. Well, let's not go there. But like, yeah. So yeah. So that's the thing. So this will be detrimental. This will take a downward spiral, and that's what I believe. Like, if it's we should question our very beliefs. I mean, that's what our podcast is about. But like, I think like these people, like those having identity crisis, you see, like this is what I believe. I told Akif. I don't know if I told Vaishu as well. So if you watch all those YouTube videos, like for audience as well, you notice all these individuals are naturally very aggressive. Like the guys who, yeah, it's a common trait. So when you sit down have a debate with them, they are naturally aggressive. Why? If you are so sure you are right, you should be calm and collected about it and tell, hey, this is who I am. I don't care what you have to say. This is who I am.
Just to edit out there, it's a bit ironic how these accepting people about themselves, right? This category of people actually goes against. Like, shouldn't you be acceptive of your opinions also, even though it goes against? That's how that differs through religion also. Like, okay, you worship a different god than me, but I'm still okay with it, no? And then like I'm still able to listen to your, yeah. So it's I'm not I don't understand why this particular group, isolated group, just decides to be aggressive most of the times. Like, why can't you just like have a coffee, talk down, like, oh, understand, this is interesting, you know?
Like I had this analogy, to be honest. Like, okay, I don't advocate such rights, extremities, whatever rights I'm not gonna mention. I don't advocate. But like I mentioned, you do you, I do me. Like I'm gonna go out my way to scold you, or go out my way to question your very beliefs. But I personally believe, like, if like debates or stuff where you guys sit down properly, show your points across why you feel such a way. Both of you guys share the points in a proper way, in a proper discussion, a proper debate, and that would benefit both. Maybe this guy who's previously a psychologist and is trying to analyze this guy and like, maybe this part is right, or maybe a guy who's identify as an animal, he'd be like, you know what? There's something maybe in my thought process. That would beneficial rather than screaming at loggerheads at each other. Like it wouldn't solve anything.
Okay, okay, just to like throw in a question for you, right? Imagine if whatever you just said, like minus the aggressive part, imagine the very same people who believe belong to that particular group, which is, they identify themselves as particular extreme
Okay.
identities, right?
Marginalized. Now I remember. Marginalized group. Yeah.
Right? They, think about whatever they have to say. And if, let's just say, they have certain points, do you think, as an individual, be able to accept whatever they are saying? Like, let's just say they worked on the aggressive part. They are much more calmer, all their points, all bullet points are all ready to go. And they're sitting and talking about it. This is why I believe, let's just say, the person says, this is why I believe I'm a lion or I'm a cat, for example, right? Would the society be able, so by society, I mean like the three other people over here, like, would you, a representative of the society, be able to accept it?
Okay. I
I think like to be able to accept it, okay, it's gonna be like I don't even know if I can accept or not. Because personally I think like it's a choice. I mean you choose to identify, but at what age do you see these trends, like I mean like
yes,
for
age plays a
yourself?
part. Age definitely. Age
At
experience
what
plays a
age,
part.
at which period of time do you have see this happening subconsciously, or was subconsciously doing that representative of like wolf or dog or cat in the past? But so if you pick it up, like so it's like a bit hard to compare me to accept you, because if like it's just like on a, I don't know if it's on a whim or not. If it's just on a whim or just on a hype. But like I just like if me, I don't know lah, I don't know I can accept or not, but I just like as long you don't harm anyone else lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, okay. That's a very good question. I've thought about it actually many times when I see this stuff of weird debates. Okay, I think my point is very clear across. First, yes, what Kai mentioned, age, experience. Okay, I'm gonna put an adult, mature adult, know what he's doing, and sits down and have a proper discussion with me. There are anomalies in the world, stuff that maybe we can't even fathom. I would say, because I'm a religious and spiritual person. Okay, so maybe there are stuff out there which we can't really put a word to it. So okay, don't go there. Let's talk. Okay, I'm not gonna digress too much, but I'm gonna talk about, let's say, gender, for example. Okay, so just to touch on it, like, if he has proper conversation, he tells me, hey, I'm this, hey, I'm that. Hey, I think like he's like a biologically born as a male, but you feel like, hey, I'm a female. Just tell me why I feel this way. Why am I attracted to males? And I feel like I want to be together with men. I would accept him. I wouldn't say I would reject or tell him. If he had proper conversation with me, he explains to me why, I'll accept him for who he is. Like, I'm not gonna, of course, I'll put my points across, but if he has a proper discussion and he tells me why, you know what, I might accept him. If it's gonna be animal, and I mean, rationally, my straight answer will be no. I'm not gonna lie, but if there's something wrong, like maybe, I mean, we talk about it, we can find out, of course, we can do like evaluation and stuff like that. We find out maybe this guy believes or maybe feels like maybe he's like one of them. Then hey, you do you, man. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to of course I would love to have a debate with you. I love to talk about things. Throw your points, I throw my points. But if he tells me, hey, I believe a certain way and very strongly, and like like there's really good evidence and good stuff out there on the table for me, I'd be like, all right, man, you do you. But again, when it comes to extremities, all right, like the reason why I mentioned gender, because that is far as personally, that's far as I would go. Like, if it comes to accepting a different identity, gender is the far as I would go. Like, even though I wouldn't advocate it, that's far I would go. Like, if it's going to be like tolerate, yeah, if it's going to be like animals and stuff like that, nah. Because if that's the case, then why are we like born humans? Okay, like there has to be some type of I don't want to say it, but there has to be some type of cognitive dissonance, or like some flaw in our thought process.
So are you trying to say they are kind of like low key mad?
I wouldn't use the word mad. I wouldn't use the
Okay,
word insane.
like out of touch with their sanity, like insane lah, basically.
To better put it, right?
Potato,
to,
potato.
Psychologically unstable.
no, I wouldn't use the word psychologically unstable. There's
Disturbed.
Yeah, I would say they are confused. Okay, you see, let me put another point. Like, I believe if you spend years believing you are a certain person, you might actually be that person. Right. Like this is one guy, this Japanese dude, remember? He believes as a dog. He got a whole dog outfit, and I'm telling you, if he believes he's a dog for the next 5 years, he'll probably forget how to speak like a human. Like that's yeah. So this is yeah. It's like a biological algorithm. Algorithm works. Okay, biologically yes, there's one that's our own nature, but over time, if we form our own sort of algorithm, years, I'm telling you, we adapt to it. That's how it works. We have our own like it's like they call it dissociative amnesia. So dissociative amnesia is like this one part actually did research on it, like rehabilitation. So they actually talked about how you're so stressed upon a time you form like a bubble, right? You form like a bubble and you live in this so-called reality of yours. You push all reality, like not genjutsu, yeah, something like genjutsu. So you push all reality aside and you live in this reality that you're in, and you're so strong, you believe in it so much. I'm telling you, if I have a proper conversation with them, they would actually convince me because that's how they feel. So you cannot break through that thought process of theirs. It's so hard and it's very hard to do it. But yeah, so if that's the case, but if you ask me, definitely I'll disagree. But I'll tell him why, and I say maybe you should consider this, consider that. But like then again, there's so much we can do as individuals, right? Like even though I wish to help him so badly, there's something so much we can do. So instead, if you tell me like if I want to like conclude a discussion for today, I would say that instead of uh rather than accepting, I would say should we advocate, like support? I would say no. Like when it comes to this question where should I accept them, you know what, yes, I accept you for who you are, because like what Kai said, you're not coming to my life, you're not doing anything, you're not endangering society in any sort of way, so fine, you do you. But would I advocate? No. Any sort of identity rights I would never advocate. But accepting, like what I said, gender so far as I go, when it comes to other identities, you know what, yes, I would just leave it to be like, hey, you are you, and that's about it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, our opinions and thoughts that we conveyed in this podcast are our own. The truth may be subjective to you, and if you have a different or difference of opinions and thoughts, we would very much like to hear them. Of course, like drop us in the comments or like drop us a DM, because we are all people who are open to the truth and also your perception of the truth. And together we might learn one thing or another, you know? Yeah. So Vaishu, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I
before we
mean, we
conclude?
still got a bit more like time left, right?
Okay.
So I've got another question. Like,
Alright.
it's been just going on. The thing is that, like, we, like what Heidi said, you do you, all that thing, right? What if it hits home? Let's just say, I'm just throwing it out there. What if your kids come home and
Oh
say,
God, you have to play the kids
I
card.
I'm let me just be very clear here. I'm not talking about gender. No. I'm not talking about how I'm being very specific to just the fact that if they come to you and say, I'm a cat from now on, right? And they only want cat food. And they only meow back to you.
I'll sell him on eBay straight up. I just sell him on eBay. Like, hey, I can just make another one. But
You cannot
what?
do other things also.
Yeah,
To a cat.
but like, get out of the house, bitch. But like,
So what would you
Okay,
do?
okay.
Like,
Like-
you can't possibly be like,
Yeah.
you do you.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
it's your kid. I
Like-
mean, yes, I agree. You gotta give them freedom and all that to express how they feel and all. But how would you do it if it's your own kid?
like I mentioned, like yes, you do you, but I said that as long as it doesn't have any sort of detrimental in my life. So if my kid has an effect on my life, so yeah, people know. I mean, doesn't matter. People know, no, like maybe I raised him wrong, probably, or maybe there's some psychological stuff. I don't know, man. But if it happens that way, then yes, I will work on it definitely. Like I'll find a way, talk to him, get it done outright. Yes, I would take measures. Definitely take measures.
Like, okay, Kai, like first impression, right? I'll be like, what's wrong with you? Like honestly, that's just gonna be the first thing that come out of my mouth. But let's say we want to do this in a very healthy manner, in a very understanding and open manner, or be asked like, oh, you believe you're a cat? Oh, why do you think you're a cat? Is it because you feel this way, that way, that way?
All you get
know?
is meows back. Like
It-
meow,
all I get
meow,
is meows
meow.
back.
Yeah.
Then all I get is my savings back. I'm not. There's you don't have allowance.
You get to be a
You know?
cat on your
Yeah.
own.
Hey, that's a good idea. Like, your cat, give me your PlayStation, give me your Game Boy, you sit one corner, I give you milk. Hey, actually, that, you know what? I'll accept him. No, I'll accept him. I'll save so much cash.
It'll be even funny if your kid is like lactose intolerance. Then he's just gonna be meow like weekly, like meow. Like he's gonna shit, but he's gonna shit in the box instead of the toilet.
You know, find him.
And you have to clean it, no?
I just get a backyard from him. Cat litter, yeah. You know, I mean, it's okay. Like, if you can take care of a human, you shouldn't probably take care of a cat, right? But yeah, so I think what like Vaishnav mentioned, I wouldn't take measures actually. Like, not letting people do you. I'll save a lot of funds for education. You know how fucking expensive it is. 20 over 1,000. Yeah, finance everything. You know what? Yep. All right, you do you. I'll just make another one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, just make another one.
I think for me, if it's like my kid, right, I would like really try to understand why he feels that way, and then I will try to dispel every single idea you have. Every single I
Very
don't give
extreme.
like alternative,
Yeah.
theory to it. Then like
Yeah.
you are just illusioning, just delusional. Just trying to subtly tell him that you are delusional.
Yeah. But disclaimer, we say this now. We don't have kids yet. I literally cannot forecast whatever that happens. So please excuse us for this podcast at this time of recording. Okay. Unfortunately, this podcast has to conclude and wrap up. Do you guys have any last words? Like you're gonna die like that.
Okay, this is how I see it. Okay, like I said earlier, just like how people have cosplays, like all these things. It's just a thing that they truly believe, and I agree that there should be a place where they could express whatever they believe, and it is not wrong to do that, but don't go way far off from reality and forget that you're who you are as a and don't come and say you're a cat, dog, whatever fuck lah. It's just bullshit. I'm like,
Oh,
not
God.
gonna entertain
Language.
that. I'm not. These are my views, okay? Just come at me lah.
Thank you so much, Vaishu, for the opinion. Okay, all right. So let's end this episode by dropping our socials. Let's hope I remember this time. Okay, Hari. Okay. First of all, Spotify, where you can listen to us and you can interact with us further on Instagram, Twitter, not Facebook. You see, I forget this part. There's nothing else, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, YouTube. If we could get a functioning camera anyways. So if you have a camera and you would like to sponsor us, please do so by dropping us in our email. Goodbye.